we're going to react to some woke TikToks today, and we have a theme for the woke TikToks we're reacting today, which is white. I'm really going in on the white libs today, aren't I? This white guilt, right? These white people who think that whipping themselves in the back and apologizing for being white, it's like that's like virtuous or like poppin'. Or that's not cute. It's not. Okay, let's watch.
If BIPOC stand in the street and scream at the top of their lungs, I hate all white people, I want all white people to go die, die white devil, you cracker bitch, that's still not racism.
Are you sure? Are you sure, Karen? Are you sure, Susie? Because I don't know how you cannot say that is racism, considering racism is defined by hating a race. And if you declare your hatred for a race, that is racism. Like, this is not complicated. This is like 1 + 1 = 2 type shit. I always say people are going to look back at this time period. This time period is going to be so fascinating to humanity when it gets its itch together and looks back and is like, I cannot believe how effing stupid everyone was. They're going to look back at the extreme like obsession with medicalization. We got to trans the kids. Everyone has to be on antidepressants. Everything's diagnosable. Nothing's a personality trait. Everything's a mental illness except for gender dysphoria, thinking you're a different gender. Like, you know, like get the vaccine. Everyone get the vaccine. Like it's going to be It's going to be studies on the obsession with medicalization, the obsession with race, and the obsession with gender. But let me not diverge. Let me let Sarah continue what she's saying.
I don't know why people don't get that, why white people are not comprehending that. That's discrimination. It's an action that's bred out of a prejudice, for sure. Justified, arguably. But screaming white people should die in my face doesn't change my socioeconomic status. It doesn't change the fact that the criminal justice system was built to serve me and people who look like me. It doesn't change the fact that my skin color won't get me brutalized by the police. It doesn't change the fact that the entire country was built to cater to people who look like me. Screaming I hate white people at me doesn't change the fact that I am dripping with white privilege.
You're dripping with white guilt, Miss Girl. And you're dripping with embarrassment. I mean, I would be embarrassed. Like, I don't know how you fixed your mouth to sound this dumb. Like, I don't understand. It's like, I know humanity is all about, like, this pendulum is, like, always about excesses, right? It's, like, the same thing I always say with the trans of. I'm sorry to bring it back to gender, but it's, like, that's what I relate to the most, obviously. It's, like, I grew up in the time period where, like, I was 6 years old getting called a faggot. You know what I mean? And it's, like, now it's, like, 6 years old and, like, going to doctors to figure out how to get a sex change. It's, like, is there no middle ground between, like, let's be nice to everyone regardless of race, or I hate this race, I hate that race. It's like, you don't have to jump from hating one race to hating the other. You can neutralize it, sis, and just be like, listen, everyone's equal. And it's just embarrassing. Like, you're embarrassing.
As long as I hold the power dynamic, I cannot be subject to racism. Hurt white feelings does not equal racism. This is not a conversation.
They always say it's not a conversation because they don't want feedback. They want to just spew their stupid shit and be like, I'm not debating this. I'm turning comments off. This is not a discussion. Well, sis, maybe get the fuck off the internet because some loudmouth tranny is going to be watching your video, dragging you. It's just like saying you want someone of a certain race dead is racist. This is just basic. Like you. And that shirt. Anyways, here's the next one. Self-hating liberal white woman goes on unhinged rant almost in tears. This description from Lives of TikTok is funny. All right.
You know what? While we're on the topic of how white people are just fucking the world up for everyone, you're not one of the good white people. There are no good white people. There are only anti-racist white people and racist white people. Anti-racism is a lifelong project, and the end goal is not for you to be good. It's for society to be good. Decenter yourself.
It's really the projection for me because, like, It's okay if y'all want to say that y'all are racist. Why do you have to bring all white people into it? Why do you have to, like, just say you? It's okay for you to just say you. If Miss Melinda wants to come on camera and talk about how she's racist and how she's sorry and she's working on her ways, I actually find that commendable. But for you to fix your mouth and say that this is all people of your skin complexion that feel this way, are you nuts? And then it's like, also, it's like these people don't live in the real world, because also this type of person probably lives in the suburbs and bumblefuck nowhere, only around white people. If you've ever lived, I grew up in California, baby. I grew up in Northern California. I grew up running through the Bay Area. I've been around every race my entire life. It's very diverse in California. The rumors are true. If you've ever stepped foot into the real world and actually been around people of every race, you understand that every race has its racists. Every single one. You learn that, like, you know, people of this race, some of them feel this way about this race. It goes in every direction. I've met Mexicans who have fixed their mouth to say, like, ignorant stuff about Asians. I've met Asians who fixed their mouth to say stupid stuff. I was at a nail salon in LA, ran by Asians, and, like, I would just hear the nail techs, like, talking badly about black people. By Miss Claire's logic, does that mean all racist? All Asians are racist? Make it make sense.
Do the work. It's hard. You're going to get it wrong. But if
Why do they all talk the same? Like, can we just talk about how they all talk the same? Do the work. Unlearn. What's another one? They always say folks. Why are leftists obsessed with the word folks? I cannot be the only person who has noticed this. Am I crazy? Can I get a nod from the other room? Have you noticed this? Like, they all call each other folks. Trans folks, Latino folks, Latinx folks. Like, it's so weird how humans, like, have segregated language. Because, like, I don't ever see right-wing people using the word folks. Why? Can someone put that in the comment? I know I'm, like, off on a tangent. But, like, what?
But if you are not out there every day actively trying to understand, you're not a good white person. Stop patting yourself on the back. Stop congratulating each other. Stop separating us from the bad white people. Don't sit out there in comments and say, we don't claim them. We are them. We are them. We are the ones shooting up schools. We are the ones raping people. We are the ones enslaving people. We are. We're them.
So rape is a white thing now? It do be mostly white people shooting up schools. It do be. However, if you look at gun violence overall, that's not the case. Like,
we are the ones enslaving people. We are. We're them.
Does she think slavery is still a thing? Well, slavery is still a thing around the world. Let's just say that. But she's clearly talking about the context of America. Does she still think white people have slaves? I don't understand. Kind of like how, you know what's funny? How, like, the libs are all celebrating gay marriage right now like it wasn't a thing. I've actually been dying. Have you been dying? And, like, how on Twitter, like, you would think gay marriage just passed. Like, for the first time. The way these libs are like, oh my God, I can get married now. It's like, it's been legal since 2015. It's the same, like, Carly here thinks that, like, slavery is still a thing. I just can't. Like, this is mental illness. That's, like, white guilt shit. Like, I don't understand.
As an educator, I am constantly worried if I am part of the problem. What do I mean by that? Well,
This is what I mean. They all speak the same. Folks, do the work. Unlearn. Part of the problem. Why? Like, these people run off of scripts. And they're very much copy-paste thinkers, which we're going to get into in one of the next articles.
Well, public education is an institution that upholds lots of problematic systems in our society, like white supremacy and misogyny and colonization, etc. In my role as an educator, I try to undermine that BS.
Do you notice how they never give evidence? Like, I'm sorry, if I was ever going to fix my mouth to come up on here and be like, the English language upholds white supremacy, would you expect me to give an example, or would you expect me to just go into the next point? Well, you would expect it if I was dumb enough to say that, because it's like, what? I'm going to need an example, Miss Mary. I'm going to need an example.
In my classroom as much as I possibly can. I teach high school English and whew, the white supremacy runs deep. What do I mean by that? Well, let's look at how we write essays. Start with an introduction that includes a thesis. Always cite your sources. Use transition words like however and therefore. These
Brenda, did you just insinuate that using the word therefore is upholding white supremacy? That containing an introduction and a thesis to your paper is something white people do only? You see how they are projecting, like, this is their racism. This is Charlene coming out talking about only white people include theses, so it's race. Like, am I on a different planet? Am I just not understanding? Am I the idiot? I don't think I am.
are all made up rules. They're arbitrary. They were created by Westerners in power. In linguistic justice, April Baker Bell calls this the language of respectability, or the language of power. Which got me thinking, what if I started my school year with a unit honoring how we talk rather than teaching students how to write properly? So this is the start of my series on teaching linguistics in high school.
This is where you pin her down. This is how you know that she's just racist. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is her saying that minorities don't speak properly, so teaching them how to write properly is racist. That's what she's saying. That's what Belinda is saying. And it's a problem. Like, speak for yourself. If you want to say you're racist, you say you're racist. And guess what? Because she comes with receipts. Look at this study from Yale. I always point to this study from Yale because, first of all, it's a study from Yale, so argue with it if you want to. White liberals present themselves as less competent in interactions with African Americans. So, you know how there's a meme about how, like, people on the right be like, Democrats, liberals are the real racists. There's some truth to that. A new study suggests that white Americans who hold liberal socio-political views use language that makes them appear less competent in an effort to get along with racial minorities. Like, there it is. What? This means that white libs go around trying to sound less intelligent to relate to people of color. I don't do that. And I'm the racist one. Like, I'm the racist one for thinking that minorities can include introductions and a thesis in their papers. Are you kidding me? And Bethany just, listen. We're moving on. Because I am going to, like, just lose my mind reacting to these people. And you know what's crazy is you can kind of tell. You know what the equivalent of that for, like, gender is? It's like when a liberal, here's an example for, like, trans. When a liberal woman finds out I'm trans or hears that I'm trans or realizes I'm trans, suddenly I'm their gay best friend. Like, suddenly it's like, oh my God, we should go shopping. Oh my God, we should go get our nails done. Oh my God, do you have any advice on how I should do my makeup? oh my God, you should totally do my makeup one time. That's how like liberal women react when they find out I'm trans. I become their gay best friend. I become their pet faggot. And it's like, by the way, I can say that word. I got my ass beat my entire childhood hearing that word. I've shed blood over that word. I can use that word. But it's like, yes. Like white liberals project how they actually do feel superior. That's why they cannot handle a minority having different political opinions than them. They cannot handle it. When it comes to like me, they can take like my opinions on trans stuff, you know, are similar to some other like right-wing content creators, influencers. Not exactly, like I'm not as far right on the trans issue as like a Matt Walsh or a Candace Owens or whatever, but to them I am, right? To them I'm far right. They can take it from Matt Walsh. They can take it from Ben Shapiro. They can take it from a Miss Candace Owens. Taking it from a trans person, hearing the things that me disagreeing with children transitioning, me disagreeing with trans women in sports, they go nuclear on me because they cannot fathom it. They cannot fathom a minority being disobedient to their ideology. This is who they are. We got to move on because the white libs are just killing me. I can't. Anyways, hey, if you guys enjoyed that short clip from the podcast, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel as well as my main channel and watch the full episode, which will be somewhere on the screen.